The sound of shattering glass jerked me awake at 3 a.m. My heart hammering against my ribs, I instinctively reached for the baseball bat I kept beside my bed, a necessary precaution since becoming a single father. My 8-year-old daughter Emma slept peacefully in the room across the hall. Protecting her was all that mattered. I never expected to find what waited for me in my bathroom that night, or how profoundly it would change our lives forever. If you've ever had that moment where your entire world shifts on its axis, where everything you thought you knew suddenly transforms, then you'll understand what I'm about to share. This story isn't just about an unexpected encounter, it's about redemption, second chances, and how sometimes the most broken people can help each other heal. If this resonates with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the heart and remind us of our shared humanity. My name is Michael Carter. 3 years ago, my wife Diane died in a car accident, leaving me to raise our daughter alone. I was a construction foreman with calloused hands, more accustomed to power tools than braiding hair or discussing the politics of elementary school friendships. The learning curve had been brutal. That night, as I crept down the hallway toward the source of the noise, my bare feet silent against the worn wooden floors of our modest suburban home, I was thinking only of Emma's safety. The bathroom light was on, spilling yellow beneath the door. I hadn't left it on. Raising the bat, I pushed the door open with my foot. And there she was. A woman stood trembling beside our bathtub, her thin frame draped in a soaked dark hoodie. Blood trickled from a cut on her forehead. Rain lashed against the small bathroom window, which now had a jagged hole in it. She'd broken in through the window, but she looked more terrified than dangerous. "Please," she whispered, raising her hands defensively when she saw the bat. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. I just need somewhere safe for one night. Just one night. Then I'll be gone. I should have called the police immediately. That would have been the responsible thing to do as a father. Instead, I lowered the bat slightly, taking in her bruised face, the desperation in her eyes. Something in her expression reminded me of a wounded animal, cornered and expecting only more pain. "Who are you?" I demanded, keeping my voice low so Emma wouldn't wake. "My name is Lily," she said, her voice cracking. "I promise I won't hurt anyone. I just need to hide. Please." Before I could respond, a small voice came from behind me. "Daddy? Who's that lady?" Emma stood in the hallway, rubbing sleep from her eyes, her favorite stuffed rabbit dangling from one hand. The moment froze in time, a tableau of confusion, fear, and an impossible decision. What kind of example would I set for my daughter in this moment? What was the right thing to do? Little did I know that this midnight encounter would set in motion events that would test everything I believed about trust, forgiveness, and the family we make versus the family we're born with. Emma's innocent question hung in the air between us, demanding an answer that would alter the course of all our lives. I lowered the bat completely. "Emma, honey, go back to your room for a minute. This lady, she got hurt and needs some help." Emma's eyes widened. "Like when I fell off my bike and you fixed my knee?" The simple comparison almost broke me. "Something like that," I managed. "Go on now, I'll come tuck you in again in a minute." After Emma reluctantly returned to her bedroom, I turned back to the stranger who had broken into our home. Lily hadn't moved, her arms now wrapped protectively around herself. "You have 5 minutes to explain why I shouldn't call the police right now," I said firmly. Lily's story spilled out in a desperate rush. She'd been running from her abusive ex-boyfriend, a man with dangerous connections who had threatened to kill her if she ever left. Tonight, he'd found her at the motel where she'd been hiding. She'd barely escaped, running blindly through the storm until she saw our house with its bathroom light left on. She had no family to turn to, no friends who wouldn't be in danger if they helped her. She just needed somewhere to hide until morning, when she could catch the first bus out of town. "I know how this looks," she said, gesturing to the broken window. "I'll pay for it somehow, I swear. I just..." I had nowhere else to go. I studied her face, the sincerity in her eyes, the fear that seemed bone deep. I thought about Emma, about the lessons I wanted to teach her about compassion and helping others. But I also thought about my responsibility to keep her safe. One night, I finally said, "You can sleep on the couch. But you leave first thing in the morning, and we never see you again." The relief that flooded her face was almost painful to witness. "Thank you," she whispered. "I won't forget this." After getting Lily some clean towels and my ex-wife's old clothes, I returned to Emma's room. My daughter was sitting up in bed, wide awake and full of questions. "Is the lady going to stay with us?" she asked immediately. I sat on the edge of her bed. "Just for tonight, sweetheart." She needed some help. Emma nodded solemnly. "She looked scared, Daddy." "Sometimes people get scared and need a safe place," I explained, smoothing her hair. "Like when there's thunder and you climb into my bed." Is someone being mean to her? Children have an uncanny ability to cut straight to the heart of things. Yes, honey. Someone was being very mean to her. Emma's small face hardened with a determination that reminded me so much of her mother. Then she should stay here where it's safe. We can protect her. If only the world were as simple as my daughter believed it to be. We'll help her tonight, and tomorrow she's going to find a better place to be safe. Now try to get some sleep, okay? I kissed her forehead and turned out her light, but my mind was racing. Had I made a terrible mistake? What if Lily's ex tracked her here? What if she herself was dangerous? The weight of single parenthood had never felt heavier than in that moment, carrying the burden of a decision that could put Emma at risk. When I returned to the living room, Lily was sitting stiffly on the edge of the couch, her wet clothes replaced with Diane's old sweatpants and t-shirt. Seeing another woman in my late wife's clothes created a strange pang in my chest. "Thank you," she said again. "I know this is crazy. I wouldn't trust me either." "I don't trust you," I confirmed. "But I couldn't turn you away, not in this storm, not with." I trailed off, not wanting to mention the bruises on her face. "Your daughter seems sweet," Lily said softly. "She's everything to me," I replied, my tone making it clear that this was both explanation and warning. I brought Lily a blanket and pillow, then made sure all the doors and windows were locked. Before heading back to my room, I paused. "I'm a light sleeper," I told her. "And I have that bat." She nodded. "I understand." Sleep was impossible. I lay awake, listening for any sound that might indicate danger, whether from Lily herself or the man she claimed was pursuing her. Around dawn, I finally drifted off, only to be awakened by the smell of coffee and the sound of quiet laughter. I bolted upright. Emma. Rushing to the kitchen, I found a scene I never expected. Emma sat at our small kitchen table, giggling as Lily flipped pancakes with theatrical flourish. My daughter's hair was neatly braided, something I still struggled with despite YouTube tutorials, and the kitchen was cleaner than it had been in weeks. "Daddy!" Emma exclaimed. "Lily makes pancakes that look like animals. Mine's a turtle." Lily turned, spatula in hand, looking uncertain. "I hope this is okay." Emma was up early, and I thought. Well, it seemed like the least I could do. The pancakes did indeed resemble crude animals. The coffee smelled better than the instant stuff I usually made. And Emma was smiling, really smiling, in a way I hadn't seen often since her mother died. "I was going to leave before you woke up," Lily explained quickly. But then Emma came out, and I couldn't just. "It's fine," I said, though I wasn't entirely sure it was. I poured myself coffee and sat down, watching as Lily served Emma a pancake shaped vaguely like a turtle, complete with chocolate chip eyes. "Can Lily stay another day, Daddy? Please?" She said she can teach me how to braid my own hair. I looked at Lily, who shook her head slightly. "Emma, I told you," I have to catch a bus this morning. But where will you go? Emma persisted. The question hung in the air. Where would she go? The thought of her back on the streets, running from someone who wanted to hurt her, didn't sit right with me. But neither did extending an invitation to a complete stranger who had broken into my home. I'll figure something out, Lily said with a forced smile that didn't reach her eyes. After breakfast, while Emma went to brush her teeth, I confronted Lily privately. Do you actually have somewhere to go? She looked away. I have enough for a bus ticket to my cousin's place a few states over. Whether she'll take me in is another question. And this man who's after you? How dangerous is he really? Lily's expression darkened. His name is Ryan. He's not just an ex-boyfriend. He's connected to people who do bad things. And he doesn't like losing what he considers his property. She pulled up her sleeve to reveal cigarette burn scars. This is what happens when I talk to another man. Imagine what he'd do if he found out I ran. The revelation sent a chill through me. I thought about Emma, about our safe little world, and how inviting Lily to stay longer could shatter that safety. But I also thought about what it meant to turn away someone truly in danger. 2 more days, I heard myself say. Until you can contact your cousin and make arrangements. But there have to be rules. Hope flickered across her face. What kind of rules? No leaving the house where you might be seen. No phone calls from here. And you tell me everything about this Ryan person so I know exactly what we might be dealing with. Lily nodded eagerly. Of course. Anything. When I told Emma that Lily would be staying a little longer, her reaction was pure joy. For a child who had lost her mother so young, the presence of a caring female figure, even a temporary, potentially dangerous one, was clearly filling a void I hadn't fully recognized. Over the next 2 days, a strange domestic rhythm developed. Lily kept the house immaculate, cooked meals that didn't come from a box or freezer, and spent hours playing board games with Emma. I returned to work, arranging for my regular babysitter Mrs. Peterson to watch Emma during the day, swearing her to secrecy about our houseguest with a vague explanation about a friend going through a tough time. In the evenings, after Emma went to bed, Lily and I would talk. She told me about her life, growing up in foster care, meeting Ryan when she was waiting tables at 19, how his charm had gradually given way to control and then violence. I told her about losing Diane, about my struggles as a single father, about the guilt I felt for not being enough for Emma. You're a good father, Lily told me one night. Emma adores you. I'm doing my best, I admitted. But there are things she needs that I don't know how to provide. Like braiding hair? Lily smiled. Like talking about feelings. Like showing her how to be a strong woman. Diane would have known how to do all that. Lily was quiet for a moment. Sometimes the strongest lessons come from watching someone overcome something hard. Emma sees you getting up every day, loving her, doing your best. That's showing her strength. On the 3rd morning, Lily announced that her cousin had agreed to take her in. She'd need to travel to Cincinnati, almost 1,000 miles away. I've got enough for the bus ticket, she said. I can leave tomorrow. Emma was devastated by the news. But why can't Lily just live with us, Daddy, she demanded, tears streaming down her face. Because Lily has her own life to live, honey, I tried to explain, though the explanation felt hollow even to me. That night, after Emma finally cried herself to sleep, I found Lily in the kitchen, staring out the window into the darkness. I've been saving something to tell you, she said without turning around. Ryan's not just going to give up looking for me. He's the kind of man who would burn down the world to get what he wants. As long as I'm anywhere he might find me, I'll never be truly safe. Your cousin is taking a risk by helping me. I'll have to keep moving eventually. She finally faced me. I wanted to thank you, Michael. These few days, they've been the first time I've felt human in years. Something about the finality in her voice alarmed me. Lily, what are you planning? She smiled sadly. Nothing bad. Just a fresh start. A real one. I should have pressed harder, should have recognized the resignation in her tone. Instead, I wished her good night and went to bed, my mind troubled. I was awakened at midnight by the sound of the front door closing. Lily was gone. On the kitchen table was a note, "Thank you for showing me kindness when I needed it most. Please tell Emma she taught me to be brave again. I have to handle this my way now. I'm sorry." Panic gripped me. The way she'd talked about Ryan, the desperate measures he might take. What was she planning to do? I called the police, but without knowing Lily's last name or where she might have gone, they could offer little help. I checked bus schedules, the last one had left hours ago, and the next wouldn't depart until morning. She was out there somewhere, alone in the night, potentially facing a dangerous man. And somehow, in just 3 days, she'd become someone I cared about. Emma was inconsolable when she realized Lily was gone. "You said we'd protect her," she accused, her small face crumpled with betrayal. "I know, sweetheart. And I'm going to try to find her, I promised. But how? I had no leads, no way to track her. For all I knew, she was already on her way to Cincinnati, or walking into something much worse." That evening, as I was putting Emma to bed, my phone rang with an unknown number. "Michael?" Lily's voice was barely a whisper. "I'm sorry to call, but I didn't know who else." "Where are you?" I demanded. "The Lakeside Motel. Room 14. Ryan found me. He's coming tonight. I'm going to end this, Michael. I wanted someone to know where I was. In case. Lily, don't do anything. I'm calling the police." "No." Her voice sharpened. "No police. Ryan has friends on the force. Just, if something happens to me, tell Emma I was brave, okay?" The line went dead. I called my neighbor Mrs. Jenkins, begging her to come stay with Emma. Then I grabbed my keys and the baseball bat and drove like a madman to the Lakeside Motel, a rundown place on the edge of town. Room 14's door was slightly ajar. I approached cautiously, bat raised, heart pounding. Inside, Lily sat on the bed, a gun in her trembling hands. "Lily," I said softly, freezing in the doorway. She looked up, her eyes wild. "Michael? What are you doing here? You can't be here. He's coming." "I'm not leaving you alone to face him," I said, stepping inside and closing the door. "Where did you get the gun?" "I bought it this morning. I was going to wait for him and—" She couldn't finish the sentence. "And go to prison for the rest of your life? Is that your plan?" I moved closer, speaking gently as if to a frightened animal. "Give me the gun, Lily. You don't understand. He'll never stop. The only way I'll ever be free is if he's stopped legally," I interrupted. "Evidence. Restraining orders. Proper channels." Lily laughed bitterly. "I tried that. The system doesn't protect women like me." "Then we'll try harder. We'll find someone who will listen." "But this," I gestured to the gun, "this isn't the answer." For a long moment, she just looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Then slowly, so slowly, she extended the gun toward me. The door burst open. Well, isn't this touching? The man who entered was tall and expensively dressed, with a smile that didn't reach his cold eyes. "Ryan." "Lily, sweetheart," he said in a voice of poisoned honey, "did you really think you could hide from me?" His gaze flicked to me, then to the gun now awkwardly between Lily and myself. "And who's your knight in shining armor?" Lily's hand tightened on the gun. "Leave, Ryan. I'm not coming back." He laughed. "Of course you are. You always do. He stepped further into the room. Though I have to say, I'm disappointed. Breaking into this guy's house? Staying with him? You know how I feel about you being with other men. I stood my ground. She's not going anywhere with you. Ryan's smile widened as he reached behind his back and produced his own gun. I think she is. Time seemed to slow. Ryan pointed his weapon at me. I lunged forward with the bat. Lily screamed. The gun in her hands went off with a deafening crack. Ryan staggered backward, a look of shock on his face. Red bloomed across his expensive shirt as he collapsed to the floor. Oh my God, Lily whispered, the gun falling from her hands. Oh my God. I kicked Ryan's weapon away and checked his pulse. He was alive but unconscious, the bullet having grazed his shoulder. Call 911, I told Lily, keeping pressure on Ryan's wound. It was self-defense. He had a gun. I'm a witness. They won't believe me, she said, her voice hollow with shock. They will. I'll make them. Trust me, Lily. Please. The next few hours passed in a blur of police statements, hospital visits, and legal consultations. Ryan survived and was arrested not only for attempted assault but also on outstanding warrants related to drug trafficking, the connections Lily had alluded to. His gun was illegal, and the motel's security cameras had captured him entering with it drawn. It took months for the legal process to unfold. Lily stayed with us during that time, sleeping in our spare room that had once been an office. Emma was overjoyed to have her back, and I found myself looking forward to our late-night conversations, to her presence in our home, to the way she understood the grief that still sometimes ambushed me when I least expected it. Ryan eventually went to prison on multiple charges. Lily's testimony was crucial to the case, her bravery in facing him in court something I'll never forget. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching Emma ride her bike in the driveway, Lily turned to me with resolve in her eyes. I should start looking for my own place, she said. Now that the trial's over, there's no reason for me to keep imposing on you both. I looked at her, really looked at her. At the woman who had crashed into our lives through a bathroom window and somehow become essential to it. At the strength she'd shown in facing her abuser, in rebuilding her life, in caring for my daughter in ways I couldn't. What if there is a reason? I asked quietly. She held my gaze. What kind of reason? The kind where Emma needs you. Where I might need you too. A slow, careful smile spread across her face. Are you asking me to stay, Michael? I'm asking you to consider it. Not out of gratitude or obligation. Only if it's what you want to. Lily's hand found mine on the porch swing. I broke into your bathroom thinking I needed one night to survive, she said softly. I never expected to find a home. Emma rode by on her bike, waving excitedly at us. Watch me, Daddy. Watch me, Lily. We waved back, our hands still joined. It's been 5 years since that rainy night when a desperate woman climbed through my bathroom window. Emma is 13 now, navigating the complexities of middle school with Lily's guidance. We married 3 years ago in a small ceremony in our backyard, Emma serving proudly as our flower girl. Life isn't perfect. We all still carry scars, Lily from her years with Ryan, me from losing Diane, Emma from growing up with these complicated histories shaping her world. But we've built something beautiful from broken pieces. Sometimes the family you need finds you in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes the darkest moments lead to the brightest futures. And sometimes, saying yes to one night can change everything. If there's one thing I hope you take from our story, it's this: compassion is never wasted, even when it's risky. Trust your instincts when someone needs help. Be the person who opens the door when someone has nowhere else to go. You never know. They might just be the missing piece your heart didn't know it was searching for. Thank you for listening to our story. If it touched you in any way, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who might need a reminder that second chances and new beginnings can arrive in the most unexpected ways.